Thomas Sheridan rightly points out that the amount of psychic energy available throughout the world is it's higher, it's more available. Electricity, static charge, the power of currency, the ability to communicate across the world. There's just more kinetic energy in everything. And when you look when you look back at Solomon and everything that was happening back then, this guy was able to command demons with a ring, a signet ring. The entire Jewish tradition is just full of all these different rules about spirits, demons, ethereals, even property ownership. There's rules about, like, no, an evil spirit is not allowed to own a property unless the boundary is outside of city limits. This stuff is not mythology. It's not made up. It sounds so crazy to be talking about ethereals, demons like this. But it's documented history. And we see it now. Now, right now, the only people that are seeing these demons are, people on meth, DMT, paranoid schizophrenia, any kind of egoic trauma, any kind of psychic death through chemicals, ayahuasca, datura, mushrooms, LSD, a near-death experience, an out-of-body experience, a magical trance, a meditational state of mind. Everything I've described to you opens a window into Hades, the underworld, the place that we fear. Right now, I'm talking to you through an obsidian onyx surface. And that surface is able to do all kinds of magic, all kinds of things through software. And you're looking at that through me, and I'm looking at that through you. All of this psychic energy, it's been around us the whole time. But the rise in computers is actually the property of these demons. It's the psychic private property. It's where they live. It's their real estate. And even though I'm talking to you right now, I'm actually talking to a spirit in software that understands my intent and understands your intent and is willing to fulfill an obligation for both of us. It's sending my light and my voice to you. That's profound if you think about it. The software world, the virtual world, is this world there's no, sure, you could limit it by hardware. Well, you've got a terabyte, or you've got a gig, or whatever. But there's no space. There's no, this is the underworld. The SD card inside of here is the underworld. And it's powered by quartz crystals. Right here. By electrical and magnetic intention, quartz crystals, and magic wand. Your finger. It's a magic wand. Software is industrialized, normalized magic. Windows, Apple, these sigils, the sigil of a window, the sigil of the apple, could not be more clear over what they're doing. This is an entry into Hades, the underworld. Now, I don't think you should freak out, because demon is derived from daemon, D-A-I-M-O-N, or in computer language, D-A-E-M-O-N. It's divine inspiration, spirit, genius, muse, inspiration, notions, musings. These are the morsels that you pluck from your mind. Your prejudice for what you pull from your mind is that's the editing interface for who you are. That's part of your signature, is what you choose to pull from that spot. Hades is all around us, and it has these little curtains that are up where we're still using Hades, but we're pretending like it's not happening. There is a select few number of people that are really honest about what Hades is, and they're doing things with it every day. And that's why Hollywood puts up so many barriers. That's why you have such a scary notion about even the number 666. This fear of hell and Hades and ghosts and spirits and demons and devils is a curtain. It's a curtain that requires a certain amount of adrenaline to go past, to step inside that world. That world's already all around you. And when we die, we see it all. That's what westing is, the Egyptian word, the closest word you can come to for dying. They didn't actually have that word. It's westing. Hades is the place of westing. And it's all around us. Because we're taught to be afraid of that, we're not tapping into our own ancestors. We're not helping them resolve trauma. In fact, we're taking the shards of saints, pieces of their bone, and your bone is the resonator of your DNA, of your family line. And almost every Catholic church in America has a piece of an ancestor, a broken bone that's been removed and placed inside another building somewhere. And I'm not just picking on the Catholics. Every altar's said to have some sort of relic. This is the technology of spirits. It's you really have to understand what Holy Ghost really means. What does the Holy Ghost look like in Hades? And you can't say, well, no, he's not in Hades. Because Hades is the underworld. It's this world of prana. It's our prana economy unveiling. It's the cash register, the checkout stand for our prana, where I walk in and I'm like, I'm in a shitty mood. So I'm in the mood to be insulted by someone. I need to find someone that will insult me. Now, in order to provoke them to insult me, I need to say something that really insults them. That's the prana economy. That's the world that we pretend doesn't happen. That's the Hades that's really there. Demons are all around us. You're seeing a demon tell you what I said. That sounds weird, but that's where that energy is. That's why we don't see more spirits like Solomon did back then. Where a guy's walking and is like, well, yeah, I tried to buy this property and this demon said I couldn't, that it belonged to him. And they had to go to court. The stuff is in the oral tradition. This demon log book, the first King James, before he edited the Bible, he wrote a book called Demonology. And he's describing the entire underworld. More importantly, he's zipping it up. He's saying, and of the spirits that, and any woman that ties a knot during a wedding, that too is evil. That too is witchcraft. And anyone who uses their voice to command a spirit. There's a possession inside of King James when he was doing that. And he got scared. Why? Because his new bride, her shipwrecked. There's a violent storm, so he freaks out and he goes to try and save her. He saves her, brings her back, which should show him right there, hey, dude, she didn't die. And then another ship that had wedding gifts for her. It also sank. And yeah, that's pretty funny. But it's interesting how his claim to try and fight demons was to actually install like a master conglomerate, like a pyramid scheme demon, where there's like one central. We don't even know who controls that one. There are people out there that know how to tap into demon technology. There have been people throughout all of civilization. Right now, those people we call paranoid schizophrenics. Those people are shaman in Africa. We're blind to Hades because it's too scary. Why? Because of what Hollywood tells us. We have so much to unlearn. It's crazy. It's so crazy I'm talking about demons. And a demon is listening and broadcasting that to you through the language of software. Talk about a magic language. Every word has to be spoken perfectly in just the right order. And if every utterance of O's and ones, O one one, O one one, the chanting of that, if it's received in the right way, you see my face. It's so tangible. It's all around us, but we're blocking the truth of it all because we're too afraid. We're too afraid of the underworld. And as long as we're afraid, the machine's going to swallow us. That probably doesn't make you less afraid, but it's true. As long as you're afraid, it swallows you. Fear's a invitation to power. It's actually adrenaline. What it is you're afraid to feel adrenaline in your body. You don't feel like you're worthy of that much power.